28 years old, with 40 million annual salary, but only 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. This performance is hard to believe. He was selected to the All-Star team 3 times, twice selected to the All-Defensive First Team. He was named the Steals Leader of the Season. He was also hailed as the next LeBron James. Now, when people mention Ben Simmons' name, people will only look at it with a playful attitude. The number 1 pick of the 2016 draft, the famous scene of passing the ball under the basket for 6 consecutive seasons. His various absences for various reasons. People are more and more convinced that after the Nets' contract with Ben Simmons expires, he will probably lose his job. He will fade out of the league. Whether it's the criticism from the outside world or his own intangible inner demons, whether he is a regrettable genius or a slacker with a bad mentality, the patience of fans has indeed been exhausted. So what is Ben Simmons' inner demon, and where did it come from? Follow me to tell the story of star structure from another angle. Here is Twilight Arena, still with humanistic care. On July 20th, 1996, in Fitzroy District of Melbourne, Australia, Fitzroy District, a divorced and remarried white mother, Julie, gave birth to a little boy named Benjamin Simmons, who is Ben Simmons. Before giving birth to Benjamin, she was already a mother of 4 children. Wait, how many children? She got pregnant with Ben after remarrying. And Benjamin's father, David Simmons, is a professional player in the National Basketball League of the Melbourne Tigers. David was born in the United States. In order to pursue his basketball dream and playing chance, he went to Australia. Julie was the captain of the cheerleading team back then and told David that she had 4 children with her ex-boyfriend, but David said he didn't care. Unlike his 4 siblings, Ben has inherited his father's basketball intelligence and athletic talent. But unlike most black players born in the US, he was born in a good family. Simmons had a good living condition since childhood and received full fatherly love, good family background, and away from the street disputes. All these can allow him to rely on his talent and interest to devote himself to basketball, football, rugby, and other sports. With his father's careful guidance, he participated in Australia's junior basketball activities in developed regions to hone his skills. In his teenage years, he has won all local basketball-related achievements, honorary scholarships. He has basically won them all. In 2012, he represented the Australian national team. He played in the FIBA Under-17 World Championship. It can be said that Simmons has got a typical script of a basketball genius teenager, and he played it well. But whether Ben Simmons is a world-class talent has not been verified in Australia. Only the highest level of the US College League is the stage to test the quality of a genius. In 2013, 17-year-old Simmons came to America. He studied at Montverde Academy. In the 2 years of high school in the US, he relied on his tall figure, strong athletic ability, excellent ball handling skills. He stood out among a group of talented players, completely conquered the American high school basketball world. He was named the Naismith High School Player of the Year. He was selected in the All-American High School team. He was selected to the McDonald's All-American High School game. Among the top basketball schools like Kentucky State, Kansas State, among the offers from top basketball schools, Xiaoben chose to join Louisiana State University. He finally swept the 5-star rookie, the number 1 power forward in the U.S., McDonald's All-American, the American Basketball Writers Association's Player of the Year, and the National Freshman of the Year, and the first team selected by many organizations, and other honors. Simmons was selected as the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. His template is LeBron James. A draft report that year described him as Ben Simmons is very talented. He has the body and strength of a forward and the vision and passing of a guard. He can defend against players at 5 positions and can be a passer and finisher on offense. He has excellent physical control and good coordination. Can score in breakthroughs and confrontations without causing offensive fouls. His vision and passing are unbelievable. He is an excellent ball handler. He has great strength and can finish in the confrontation. He is also a very good rebounder. He works hard to grab offensive rebounds. He is a hardworking player. He knows his weakness is shooting, but he can improve in the future. He is very confident and talkative. He has strong communication skills. He has the potential to become a leader in the future. He is calm and composed and can easily overcome adversity. He was indeed a superstar in the making at that time. His draft template can still average a triple-double and carrying the team forward. But Simmons has trouble playing on the court. What's wrong with him? So next we will detail what is Ben Simmons' inner demon and where it comes from, and where it came from. Born into a greenhouse family, his parents, excellent professional sports training, and God's favor of top physical talent enabled Simmons in his life and games he could easily obtain the identity of a winner. Any achievement and fame was within his reach. His success was too smooth. He has never failed, or almost never. He has never been in a situation that makes him feel frustrated. But his mentality is very immature. His attitude towards basketball doesn't seem to be as passionate as we think. As a child, Simmons was a dual sport athlete in football and basketball. The reason why he gave up football for basketball at 14 was just because the football coach made him play a position he didn't like. As an adult, Simmons he announced many times that he would play for Australia, but repeatedly broke his promise, just to take his new girlfriend on a vacation. Even if Australian fans scoffed at him, he doesn't care. In his spare time during the game, to date with young models, take girls for a ride. He also paid some people to come to his home to help him improve his game. These may be the triggers of Simmons' inner demons, hidden in his body, waiting for an opportunity to explode. Going back to the year Simmons was drafted first overall, he was accidentally injured in a training session, missing his first season. When he returned from injury in the second season, in his first regular season game, he scored 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. Even in his fourth regular season game, he achieved his first triple-double in his career. He played for 33 minutes, scored 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. The Sixers fans were delighted. They thought they had finally waited for another franchise, and even saw the team holding the trophy. This year, Simmons averaged 15.8 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. And the versatile and Joel Embiid, who is skilled and talented, they made it to the playoffs together. Although in the Eastern Conference semifinals, lost to the Boston Celtics, but this was only Ben's first season. Even in the playoffs, he could get better than regular season. He averaged 16.3 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 7.7 assists. Applause, praise, attention, and expectations. He was showered with praise, attention, and expectations. He even defeated Donovan Mitchell and Jason, winning the Rookie of the Year in the 2017-18 season. But there is a problem. He has not yet made a three-pointer, and he was reluctant to shoot. He only took 11 three-pointers outside the line. He seems to think that relying solely on his strengths, he can easily score luxurious stats and win the game. Rebounding, fast breaks, one-on-one defense, and assists. He fully displayed his talents in the sun, and his weaknesses in the shadows are also hidden, and didn't want to touch. In the next 2 seasons, the total number of three-point shots in his season were reduced to 6 and 7 respectively. He was more reluctant to shoot three-pointers. It wasn't until his 172nd game he made his first three-pointer in his career. Yes, this is the era of small ball. It's unbelievable. But he could still rely on his strengths, scoring an average of 16.9 points, 8.8 rebounds per verse. And in 19, the Philadelphia 76ers signed a 5-year, $170 million contract. He was selected to the All-Star team in the same year. But the team's record never improved further. On March 8, 2019, Kobe Bryant gave such advice in an interview. Gave Simmons such advice. He should practice shooting. Practice shooting for 10 hours a day. He needs to practice his jump shot well. It sounds stupid, but I'm serious, because if he doesn't do that, trust me, when his career is over, he will regret it. And Simmons replied, "Oh, I know. Kobe wasn't the only one saying that. I know this very well, but even if I don't rely on shooting, I still became the #1 pick." Finally, the 2021 season came. This year, the new MVP Jokic led the Nuggets to be aggressive. The Nets' big three in Brooklyn were ambitious. The Kawhi Leonard and Paul George combination was driving the Clippers to make a charge. And the Greek freak in Milwaukee also urgently wanted to prove himself. In such a season of fierce competition, The Sixers, with Simmons and Embiid, with a record of 46 wins and 23 losses, entered the playoffs with pride as the first in the East. They swept the Wizards 4-1 in the first round and met the Eagles, who entered the playoffs for the first time. When people thought this strong Sixers would easily crush their opponents and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, the most surprising upset of the season happened. This is the first time playoff team, the Hawks, managed to play the 7th game against the first-place team. The Eagles coach, Mike McMillan, throughout the series, used a very bold and targeted defense strategy, which is to let Simmons go to form a zone defense with more players. When the Sixers players enter the three-point line, they immediately formed a one-on-one double team. When Simmons stands on the perimeter, there is no defender within 5 meters in front of him. When attacking, Simmons can only lurk more in the ghost position to increase his offensive threat. But doing so, it seriously hinders Embiid's inside attack. In addition, his free throw percentage is less than 60%. Makes it easier for opponents to too boldly send him to the free throw line. This basketball genius showed a confused expression on the offensive end for the first time. He seemed to be an island on the court. He was afraid of getting shooting opportunities. He was afraid of going to the free throw line. He was afraid of facing his shortcomings, as if he forgot who he was. He was gradually possessed by the inner demon. Finally, he created that famous scene. It also doomed the Sixers' playoffs that year. He was turned around by the defender completely out of position. Facing the close empty basket and the 18-5 Trae Young coming from afar, Simmons chose to pass the ball to the one outside the paint. C.N. Bullock, a cognitive scientist, Dr. C.N. Bullock, in an interview with CBS Sports Channel Interview, used Simmons as an example, explained in detail that basketball players may encounter on the psychological level. In the most stressful moments, thinking is the athlete's biggest enemy. This seems a bit counterintuitive, but science has proved this. It can be understood as the famous scene of Missing Dunk. It was Simmons in a high-pressure moment due to panic and overthinking. Dr. Baylor explained in detail that if you have a bad performance under pressure and it gives you a bad enough memory, then what will happen next is you constantly try to figure out how to correct it, which often leads to overthinking. You start to pay extra attention to everything you do and the details involved, and while doubting yourself and engage in many unnecessary reflections. For high-level athletes, this doubt actually further affects their performance. It varies from person to person. Some athletes may only need a few games to digest it, such as J.R. Smith, while others, in self-doubt, turn this phenomenon into a more lasting thing and start to correct things that they only think are mistakes. They get stuck in it and can't get out easily. Unfortunately, this situation is particularly severe in Simmons. In these 2 rounds of preseason games, Simmons made only 25 of 73 free throws, with a shooting percentage of 34%, which is far lower than his regular season's 60%. This also echoes Dr. Bullock's research perspective. Because free throws are the only scene in basketball, the only scene where there is sufficient time to think. When all eyes in the arena, when everyone's eyes are focused on you, if you miss more free throws than usual, your brain, it will quickly fall into overcorrection and self-examination, which often leads to a more vicious cycle of failure. For a relatively fragile person like Simmons, the impact is more serious. Ben Simmons is a piece of shit right now. Obviously, he struggled from the free throw line, and that became a factor in the series. Open shot, and we missed. We made more free throws. The Eagles' defensive strategy while destroying his confidence, the boos from the Sixers' own fans. Coach Rivers and his partner Embiid, and his partner Embiid's accusations after the game also completely destroyed Simmons' self-esteem. The smooth journey along the way made this catastrophic setback even more unbearable. From then on, the snake of inner demon has gradually wrapped around the nerves of this talented young man. Simmons started arguing with fans, refused to participate in team practice, declaring that he would never play for Philadelphia again. He was like a sulking child. He wanted to separate himself from the team that couldn't support him in difficult times. Just like when he was a child, he easily broke up with football like that. He missed the entire 2021-22 season and transferred to the Nets. After undergoing back surgery, Simmons made a comeback. Is a completely different person. He only shot 5 times in 25 minutes per game, with 6 points per game. He doesn't like to shoot mid-range jump shots outside the paint, and he doesn't shoot three-pointers at all. His free throw percentage is even less than 50%. What a pity. It's a story of American version of Shang Zhongyang. But Zhongyang didn't. He became mediocre in just 16 months. At that time, Simmons even said something like this in the Nets. Durant makes me feel a lot of pressure. Teams with him will aim for the championship. But KD never cared about my body, and he seemed to only care about the championship. People gradually questioned his willingness to shoot, to whether Simmons doesn't love basketball at all. But every offseason, regularly posts training photos on social media seem to be trying to refute these doubts. But with the arrival of the new season, his real performance could not support his weak response. During a podcast appearance by Simmons, revealed some of his true thoughts, and also for the fans and analysts who keep speculating on him, showed his more vulnerable side. My situation was very bad at that time, and all I wanted was help. I thought, damn, I finally got to where I am now, but you're going to dump everything on me again. And I couldn't help it all. For ordinary people, of course, life is not just about work. The same goes for NBA stars. When they are on the professional stage, may not love basketball as much as we think. Basketball may be just a job for them, but just a part of life. Even if they are the most talented players, we can't expect Simmons to have Kobe Bryant's obsession at MLM, James's decades of self-discipline, Durant's unconditional obsession with basketball, or Irving's intense belief to support all his actions. When Simmons reaches a certain age, he will naturally pay attention to more things in life. After experiencing many things, when his name has become a loser among NBA stars and a joker, the inner demon came, and it tightly grips his nerves. Perhaps he didn't want to be bad, but during the offseason, esports, racing, and women's life can temporarily make him forget the haunting of the inner demon to be the confident and happy basketball genius he once was. Shooting without any pressure and burden. Maybe it's more relaxed and comfortable. But once the season starts, he can't completely get rid of that psychological barrier. And finally, fall into a cycle of self-justification and failure. Well-known stars like Love and DeRozan have suffered from serious mental illnesses. And with their own influence, they promoted the sports industry to raise awareness of the mental health of such athletes. But unlike Simmons, they have overcome their inner demons. They didn't bring negative attitudes to the court. Because they are stars, the belief and responsibility they should have. The NBA League, which takes toughness and passion as its theme. The NBA League never believes in the tears of the weak. After all, fans pay for tickets, jerseys, and souvenirs. They don't want to see their favorite team lose. The main players are lazy and then have to empathize with a guy who earns hundreds of times more than himself. Empathize with or even comfort him. As a fan, you can criticize him as much as you want. Besides making jokes and mocking, now when mentioning Ben Simmons, we can't help but feel more regret. If he had listened to Kobe's advice and practiced shooting hard, how would he have improved now? If he encountered psychological difficulties, if his coach and teammates gave him more support and tolerance, would he still have demons? On the other hand, Simmons is lucky. He still has the fans he gained during All-Star. Even though he has fallen from a superstar to a league, he still has a large number of fans who will choose to love him and support him. In the few court clips, see him shine a little light, the shadow of the past. He can still receive support on and off the court, more or less support. There must be someone in their hearts hope that he will rebound from the bottom. After all, the story of a prodigal son is touching enough, isn't it?